Have you ever found yourself entangled in a complex web of emotions and relationships that seem beyond your control? Imagine meeting someone whose magnetism is undeniable, a connection so intense that it consumes your every thought. But beneath the surface, there's a ghost, a specter of his past that refuses to fade. It's his previous relationship, a lingering obsession that haunts him, casting a shadow over the bond we were trying to forge. In the early days, it was easy to dismiss the signs, to attribute his distant gaze and unspoken thoughts to the natural ebb and flow of a new relationship. Yet, as the days turned into weeks and months, it became clear that his heart was still entangled in the threads of his past, a past he seemed unable to let go. Despite the red flags, we decided to navigate the uncharted waters of a relationship, setting the stage for a journey marked by turbulent emotions and unexpected twists. The joy of expecting our first child soon gave way to a reality far from the serene experience I had envisioned. Our connection, once strong and passionate, was quickly overshadowed by the specter of his past, a past that seemed to haunt him like a relentless ghost. The emotional turbulence that ensued was like a tempestuous sea, with waves of warmth swiftly giving way to chilling currents of detachment. We were two souls entwined in the dance of impending parenthood, yet the rhythm was off, the harmony disrupted by the discordant echoes of his past. Every heartbeat of our unborn child, every flutter, every kick, was a poignant reminder of the life we were creating. Yet his emotional presence was inconsistent, much like a flickering flame struggling against the wind. His moments of warmth were like precious rays of sunshine breaking through an overcast sky. They were fleeting, but they brought with them a glimmer of hope, a promise of the love and support I so desperately needed. But these moments were few and far between, often receding into the cold shadows of his detachment. The father of my child, the man with whom I had chosen to navigate the uncharted waters of parenthood, was a constant source of emotional turbulence. His mind was a battleground, torn between the present reality of our growing family and the lingering memories of his past. This internal struggle cast a cold, unsettling shadow over our cohabitation, turning what should have been a shared joy into a solitary journey. The warmth I craved, the emotional sustenance essential for the journey of motherhood, was scarce. It was overshadowed by the persistent coldness that characterized our cohabitation. The home that should have been a haven of love and nurture for our unborn child was instead a frosty landscape, marred by the chilling winds of unresolved emotions. And so the joy of expectation was replaced by a reality far from serene, a reality where the echoes of a past refused to fade, casting long, cold shadows over our attempts to build a future together. The warmth I craved was scarce, overshadowed by the persistent coldness that characterized our cohabitation. As time unfolded, the complexities of our relationship reached new heights, with the conception of a second child. A moment of drunken intimacy had set the stage for a new life, a new responsibility, and, as I would soon discover, a new chapter of challenges. This time, we were expecting a girl. A glimmer of joy sparked within me, but it was quickly overshadowed by the mounting issues that seemed to grow alongside my belly. The father of my children, the man I had chosen to build a life with, was still a prisoner of his past. His obsession with his ex was not just an annoying trait. It was a specter that haunted our home, our relationship, and now threatened to taint the identity of our unborn daughter. It seemed as though his love for her was intertwined with his lingering attachment to a past love. And I, caught in the crossfire, was left grappling with feelings of resentment, fear, and a desperate longing for the warmth and stability that should accompany such a special time. The climax of these intensifying challenges came when he suggested a name for our daughter, a name that bore a chilling resemblance to that of his ex. It was as though he was trying to recreate his past, using our family as the canvas. This was not just about a name, it was about the identity of our child and the future of our family. I expressed my objection, hoping for understanding, hoping for compromise, but I was met with an unexpected response. At 40 weeks pregnant, my objection was met with sudden and aggressive coldness. His warmth, already rare and fleeting, disappeared completely. The man I had shared so much with had transformed into a stranger. His aggression extended not only towards me, but also towards our son, casting a dark shadow over the home we were trying to build. This marked the start of an even more difficult path, a path where the complexities of our relationship were not just about us anymore, but about the well-being of our children and the stability of our family. The man who had fathered my children transformed into a stranger, his aggression extending not only to me, but also to our son. It was as if a switch had been flicked, and the man I thought I knew, the man I had chosen to build a life with, was replaced by a stranger. The warmth we had once shared was replaced by an icy chill that permeated our home. Every word, every interaction was tinged with a harshness that was not there before. Our son, a beacon of innocence in the midst of our storm, was not spared. He bore witness to the unraveling of his parents' relationship, a silent observer to the emotional warfare that had become our norm. The father figure he had looked up to was now the source of confusion and fear. His laughter was replaced by silence, his smiles by tears. Meanwhile, the home we had built together was no longer a sanctuary. The walls that had once echoed with shared dreams and laughter now reverberated with tension and harsh words. Every room held a memory, each one a painful reminder of the love we had once shared, now replaced by resentment and regret. His unresolved emotions, his lingering attachment to the past, was the invisible wedge driving us apart. He was stuck in a time that no longer existed, haunted by a ghost that was no longer there. Our love story, our family, was trapped in his inability to let go. Our unborn daughter, still nestled within me, was the innocent party in this escalating tension. I could feel her kicks and turns, a constant reminder of the life we had created, a life that deserved more than the turmoil we were mired in. The foundation we had laid for our family was crumbling, eroded by the relentless waves of his unresolved emotions. Our attempts at patching the cracks, of bridging the growing chasm, were futile. The weight of his past was too heavy, the damage too extensive. The very foundation we had built for the sake of our family began to crumble beneath the weight of unresolved emotions. In the face of adversity, I found myself standing at the intersection of love and self-preservation, contemplating the difficult choices that lay ahead. There I was, in the middle of a storm, the winds of conflict howling around me, the waves of discontent crashing against my resolve. My heart yearned for the warmth of love, yet my spirit understood the need to protect itself, to guard against the cold gusts of neglect and indifference. The choices before me were as distinct as they were daunting. Should I continue to cling to the love I felt, the love that had brought two beautiful children into this world? Or should I heed the call of self-preservation, sever the ties that seemed to bind me to a past that was not my own, and chart my own course forward? The decision was not easy. Love, especially a love that has borne fruit, is not something one can simply discard. And yet, the need to protect myself, to shield my children from the emotional turbulence that had become our norm, was equally powerful. It was a tug of war between the heart and the mind, between emotions and reason. In the end, it was the thought of my children that guided me. I realized that in striving to keep our family intact, I had inadvertently exposed them to a stormy sea of coexistence. They deserved more. They deserved a harbor, a refuge from the storm, a home filled with warmth and peace. And so, I chose to navigate the choppy waters, to steer my ship towards the horizon of self-preservation. It was a journey fraught with uncertainty, but one that I undertook with a resolve forged in the crucible of adversity. I chose to weather the storm, to brave the waves, not just for my own sake, but for the sake of my children. The journey from love to parenthood had been a tumultuous one, marked by the echoes of a past that refused to fade away, leaving me to shoulder the burden of our strained relationship. But in the face of it all, I found the strength to choose, to protect, to persevere. And in doing so, I found myself. My tale is not one of despair, but a cautionary tale that serves as a stark reminder of the importance of self-preservation and emotional well-being. In the whirlwind of love and parenthood, I found myself navigating a storm, stirred by the echoes of a past that refused to fade. The journey was marked by emotional turbulence that overshadowed the joy of motherhood and strained the bonds of love. Yet it was in the face of adversity that I learned the most valuable lesson. The essence of love is not merely about coexisting, but about nurturing one's emotional well-being and preserving the self. It is about recognizing when a relationship becomes a source of constant distress and having the courage to seek peace, even if it means walking away. In the midst of life's unpredictable twists, it is essential to prioritize our emotional health and well-being, even when faced with the most complex and challenging relationships.